What's good, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm here again with Scott and Paul. What's good, guys?
What's up, fellas?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're listening.
We're coming off an insanely hot week. The last episode really took off. I don't want to go into specifics, but that's the one that kind of I wouldn't say we're on the map, but we pulled up the GPS and we're sort of finding our way.
Do you know how hard it is to find something on a GPS map? Do you really?
Is it?
Well, if you do directions, what drives me crazy about Google Maps is that every time I'll do the same location and it still gives me the three options. And it goes, you know what? I'm not going to use the option that you use every time. I'm going to select the one you can never use. And it's like, doesn't it get the point with AI? It knows which route you take.
Yeah, I mean, when I do that, it usually gives me two or three options as well, depending on the traffic. Even if I'm not using the directions, I'll just check it for traffic.
More importantly, what voice do you guys have on the GPS?
I have
like a sexy British voice.
I have the standard one. I didn't change it.
I keep it straight on. I have not fooled around with the voice. Can you change the voice on Google Maps?
Is it on Google that I did it, or was it Waze? I forgot which one I did it on. I changed the voice.
My Siri voice is a dude. That changed a while back. I
Is
only
he a
realized
British
dude? I don't really use Siri, but yeah, I think so. It just was a dude out of nowhere. I don't know what happened.
I just want someone who doesn't yell at me when I go and leave.
That's the Russian one. That
where I live, it goes make a U-turn. I'm like, and it's completely wrong. I don't need to make a U-turn, but it tells me every single time. And then, but luckily, it doesn't yell at me.
Wait, are you driving backwards?
Huh?
Are you driving backwards?
No,
why is it always telling me to make a U-turn?
For some reason, it doesn't realize I can make a left turn. I don't know.
Okay.
To echo what Bruno was saying, but thank you to everybody who listened. If you like it, definitely subscribe, leave a comment, start a little chat back and forth. But thank you for listening.
Make a mark on your map to continue listening.
Put it on your GPS.
Put it on your GPS to continue listening. When you get in the car, make sure your GPS reminds you to listen, if that's even possible. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Today we're gonna talk about Severance that just wrapped up a few days ago, and we're gonna talk about the latest episode of White Lotus and where that series kind of stands. Before we get into all that, we'll do a little roundtable and see what's been on the radar.
Crickets. I just I have a couple hot takes today. I'm gonna see what you guys think about this, but one real quick that I checked out and I thought was pretty interesting was Paradise.
Paradise,
yeah, it's on Hulu, and
I haven't heard of that.
basically it talks about Secret Service guy who's protecting the president. The president is what's his name?
That's with James Marsden, Sterling K. Brown.
Yes, James Marsden.
Nicholson.
You saw Scott? Which pulled up that wiki.
I don't give a Hold on. I thought we were gonna have one. Hold on. I thought I would have one episode where I didn't have to say hold on. And two, when my sources,
that magic,
which may be my head, which I'm not going to tell you whether it is or not, gets questioned.
Fair enough. My bad. I overstepped.
No matter what, it's not where you get it; it's how fast you get the information and if it's correct or not.
So, Paul, what's your take?
But you're right. It's Sterling K. Brown. He's the Secret Service agent, and James Marsden is the president. And, in a way, it's kind of like White Lotus because it starts out with a murder mystery type thing, but it's Trojan horsed, and inside is a sci-fi mystery, a sci-fi thriller. And the end of the episode really hits you with a hook.
Do we get right into the sci-fi aspect of it, or is that
you don't get until the very end? The whole time it's like a murder mystery. Within the first couple of minutes, you find out the president gets killed, and you're trying to find out. But things are off. He's not checking into the White House. He's at a different house. And then at the end of the episode, they drop the mic, and that's where the sci-fi kicks. And they drop a big bomb, and that's what they're supposed to do in a pilot. It's supposed to grab you. But I liked it. I'm going to keep watching. Very interesting. I like how it ended, and I want to see like where they got to this point. But definitely sci-fi. If you like sci-fi, it's a little bit of a
Yeah.
murder mystery, and it's very sci-fi-ish.
Okay. I might check that out. It sounds like
I don't
I'm
want to
really gonna
ruin it.
dig it, or I'm just
I
gonna
would say
hate it.
what the gimmick is, what the hook is, but I don't want to ruin it for people.
Okay.
So if you're interested into it, it's like everything's trying to be like a little lostish, a little sci-fi element, but it's good. I like it so far. And I mean, Sterling K. Brown, he's an amazing actor.
He is. So he's the lead.
Yes, you're following him because he's the Secret Service that discovered the dead president.
And then Mark's Madsen. He's playing like a good-looking DeSantis over here.
James Marsden is like basically like a Texas good old boy. He's like very charismatic.
Young Bush.
Yeah, he's like everyone loves him. He knows the right things to say. But you just because he's dead doesn't mean you don't catch him in flashbacks. Like there's a lot of flashbacks on the show, so you see a lot of him. You don't lose him in the first episode, and that's it.
Is he defunding Planned Parenthood?
Damn, I don't know.
Okay. Anything else on the? I haven't heard about Hulu in a minute.
Yeah, that was the first one on Hulu in a while that like grabbed my attention. But it looked good.
Scott? So we'll get back to you. I want to, Scott. I know you got something cooking.
Well, I do. There's a show I actually caught up with and didn't even know about called Bad Monkey. It's on Apple TV, so I've been dabbling into that. It's with Vince Vaughn,
I remember Bad Monkey. Yeah.
Natalie Martinez, and Jodie Turner-Smith. And it's not from this year, it's from last year. He plays a detective who apparently was a restaurant inspector in Southern Florida and gets involved into all this. He has to transport this arm and
A literal arm?
a literal arm. And it turns into all of this chaos. And Vince Vaughn has a lot of funny catchphrases if you check it out.
I think, has this show been canceled? No, it has not. Okay. It was just renewed for a second season.
You know what? You almost, just made the idea of watching it be like, what?
Well, that's what I was going to ask because I remember the trailer when this
I
came
don't
out.
know. I was just gonna watch it through and see how it turns out, but it seemed like a funny crime show. Somewhat.
Is
It's
it?
not really crime. It's not really a crime show. It's just him getting into I don't know. I only watched one episode and I was laughing quite a bit.
Okay, good. Yeah, I figured Vince Vaughn is up your alley in terms of like the humor. Is that accurate?
I wouldn't say overall, but in this movie, yeah. This TV show, yes, it's been quite entertaining so far.
Okay. Good shit. Good shit. I went to the movies. I was gonna go see Mickey 17, but because that thing is already sort of coming to HBO Max in this weekend, actually, I think.
Insane. That is insane.
I went to see Black Bag. Are you guys heard of this movie? I feel like this movie is like pretty low key, not getting a ton of attention.
I did. I heard about it. What'd you think about it?
It's great. It's kind of like right up my alley. It's very similar. It's a Steven Soderbergh movie. The last Soderbergh movie we reviewed was The Killer, which also starred and now I'm blanking on this fucking guy's name. Hold on.
Well, it seems like it has a very good cast with Kate Blanchett,
Fassbender.
Pierce Brosnan,
Yeah, so the cast is stacked. Yeah, Blanchett and Michael Fassbender play husband and wife spies, but they sort of operate in different branches of the agency. And then one of them is framed for a crime, and then the other one is investigating that crime. It's really, really elevated. There's not a ton of action. There's a lot of like style and vibes and conversations and like saying really smart, witty shit to each other. The movie opens with Fassbender's character inviting a couple of people from the agency over for dinner, and he kind of sets a trap. And then after dinner, he's like, the dinner's going to be like me throwing a rock in the water. And then the rest of the movie is like him following the ripples, like uncovering who the rat is, basically.
Didn't you? This is like a more sophisticated Mr. and Mrs. Smith, right?
I didn't see that movie, to be honest. But yeah, kind of. That's more like, I don't know if it's more sophisticated, but it's not as like action heavy.
Wasn't his first inclination that his wife was cheating on him, and that's what he was trying to ripple and find out, and then it led to something else?
In this one, no. This one is, it's not that his wife is cheating on him. It's kind of like a MacGuffin. I don't want to say it because they'll probably spoil it, but basically it's, she's supposedly turned her back on her country, and he's trying to find out what actually happened. Was it actually her? Why? And then, kind of following all the breadcrumbs.
I misread it. I thought he was checking out her infidelity, and from that, he found out that she was kind of like turned her back on her country.
The movie opens up with this really dope shot of, it's basically like a long shot with no edits, basically just following Fassbender's character from the streets of London to a nightclub downstairs, back outside, and this guy who's someone in his agency pretty much says, this happened, here's a list of suspects, your wife is priority, she's on the suspect list, go do your thing. Damn. And that's how the movie kicks off.
Talk about conflict of interest.
Yeah. And it's funny, it's called Black Bag because in their agency world, and in particular in his and his wife's marriage, anytime there's a topic of conversation that you just cannot talk about, you just say the phrase black bag, and it gets dropped. So anything relating to their work, even like, hey, where were you last night? Black bag. Can't talk about it.
Get out of jail card.
It's like a get out of jail card. And it's Fassbender and Cate Blanchett, who are, world class actors in their own right. So it's fucking awesome. Recommend it.
Why is there lipstick on your neck? Black bag. Black bag.
Yeah, really good. Anything else? I wanted to ask you, Paul, about should I watch Daredevil? What's the case for Daredevil season? Whatever.
First episode was pretty hot. Second episode fell off a little bit. Third episode was okay, and then fourth episode picked up again. So far, it's okay. I'm probably gonna watch it to the end. It's pretty good. But this was the real quick the hot take I was gonna take. Right. I honestly think so. We're reviewing Severance today, and we're reviewing White Lotus.
Yeah.
I think the Pitt right now is the best show I am watching and have watched in quite a while.
Wow.
The Pitt, I just watched the last episode of The Pitt.
Same.
It is insane, man.
Sky, have you given it a chance?
No.
I think you might like it. It's procedural.
No, I definitely need to watch it. I've just been focusing on other shows, and then I definitely want to dive into it.
No pressure.
It is so good, man. Like,
I don't need the pressure. I'm definitely going to watch it.
It's amazing that these guys took like a midwinter break. I don't know if it was a couple weeks or a month, and then they came back and continued filming. They can't change. They can't go get a tan. They can't get a haircut. When they come back, they need to carry over that momentum and intensity from the prior episode as if they're picking up right where it left off.
Yeah.
Each episode is a different hour of one day, and it's like, I was telling myself, I was like, this is probably just one big fucked up day. You know what I mean? Like, they're going through so much shit. This is probably like shit hits the fan type of day. But no, because he has flashbacks to the days with COVID. And that was probably, if not as bad, probably worse than what he's going through now. So it's like, damn, man, I couldn't imagine being in a job like this. And it's just like, one thing just keeps going wrong after another. He doesn't get a chance to breathe. And it's on the anniversary of him losing his mentor, like during COVID.
Which was was during COVID. So that's kind of like they harken back to that. Sometimes there's flashes when he's overwhelmed. And in points of that he might be breaking down. I'm wondering if that's gonna come full circle
It's gotta. He can only keep his composure for so long before everything just starts imploding. And
Did you
and that
watch?
bombshell that she dropped on him too. It's like I don't want to spoil anything, but like, damn man, like this show is just like on so many different levels. For me, best TV show on TV right now,
I'll
hands
probably
down.
I'm not looking at it. I'll probably wait. It's gonna be 24 episodes, right?
I think 16. I don't
Yeah,
think it's the full
I think it's
24.
16.
16. So they're only gonna feature 16 of the they're featuring a 16-hour rotation shift.
Yeah,
I
it's not
guess
a
so, yeah.
full 24
Okay.
hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll probably wait because right now I can see on March 27th, the 13th episode becomes available. So I'll probably wait maybe another 3 weeks until all of them are available.
Just binge all that. That's a lot, bro.
It's
You're gonna-
I'm
psychologically and
not
emotionally, it's a lot to binge, man.
I'm not saying
this
binge.
guy's going
I'm
all in.
I'm telling you.
I'm
Don't
not
do it,
saying
bro.
I'm not saying binge, but I will be able to watch it more frequently than once a week because this is the type of
You
show you
said
want to watch.
whoever binged Adolescence was a psychopath. So I'm if you do it with this,
Hold
with
on.
the pig,
My
forget about
definition of binging is watching more than one episode within a day.
I definitely
No,
At
do that
binging
least.
is
with
watching back to
Adolescence.
back to back.
Yeah, man.
All right, 3
Where
bags.
Netflix has to check in on you and make sure you're still
All
all
right.
right.
All right.
Yo, you sure you want to watch another one?
How about
Are
You've
you
been there
still
for too
watching?
long.
how
You
about
all right?
yeah, are you still there? Are you still there?
Are you a psychopath?
No. All right, maybe all right, I would be able to go through it faster if I even watched maybe 2 episodes a day or even one a day. This is waiting an entire week
Yeah,
for an
you don't have to
hour to
race
go
through
by.
it. I actually
No.
like the weekly drop of those shows because
I do.
I've always preferred that cadence over just like the whole season dropping. It just gives you more time to process what you just watched and sort of sit with it for a while. It gives us time to talk about it in between episodes.
It feels some shows you need like 3 in a row to like really get into a groove. With this show, having that week break to just decompress from like watching it because it's so intense really pays off, I think it definitely benefits the show. But anyway,
I was watching ER a few episodes and I had to stop because it felt like it was really long and too much.
and what I like this show so much. After it's done, I might have to go and check out ER.
Mhm.
That's how good this
Yeah.
is, and know Wiley is. This show is, I don't know, whatever. That's my hot take, man. Best show on TV right now.
One thing,
Intense, emotional, nonstop. It doesn't let its foot off the gas.
one thing to check out. There was a story on 60 Minutes. Was it 60 Minutes? It was on 60 Minutes or Sunday Morning. They did a story about movie posters. That of classic movie posters, so many posters did not survive, and they were not saved because originally when movie posters were made, the only place I would get them was movie theaters, and they would once a movie was done playing, they would throw it out. So there's one collector who's auctioning off his classic movie poster collection. It's an interesting story that CBS News did to check out.
Is that on YouTube? I might check that out.
Yes, it's on YouTube. Yes, it's also on YouTube and also on CBS's website, CBS News website.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
sounds
Cool.
like his wife just told him to clean out the garage.
I
Yo, clean out the garage.
I don't think
Get
the
this shit
I
outta
don't.
here.
I can tell for a fact you were not on.
That's when you start saying
Sorry.
black bag, black bag.
No,
yeah, I do like those news pieces though. They're always interesting stuff on those.
it was on Sunday morning. I think it was on CBS Morning Sunday morning. Yeah, CBS Saturday morning.
Hit me with that link.
Oh, I will.
Okay, you guys want to move on? I didn't really watch. I'm trying to think if I watched anything else. I was so busy just like cramming Severance this weekend that I watched like nothing else. Oh, there's that link. Thank you, Scott. Yeah, I didn't really get a chance to watch anything else. I went to the movies Friday night, and then the entire weekend I just watched the entire season 2 of Severance.
This is the first week in a long time that I haven't gone to the movies. Nothing really just grabbed my attention this week.
Is anything good coming out? I keep seeing posters for
Death of a Unicorn.
Yeah,
That's coming out
that,
this week.
that looks weird. A couple of weird movies coming out.
I think I'm actually going in the city Thursday, so I'm not going to be able to watch anything this week.
This week, I don't know. I gotta see what's on the release list. Should we just jump into main topic? Do you guys want to do White Lotus, or should we just jump into Severance first?
That's the question, man. Which one's
You
first?
you throw out a show name, and we'll just have to run with it.
Okay,
I
let's
say
throw
White Lotus first because Severance is done.
Severance is done. Okay, so we'll do. I wanted to do. Scott and I, we talked about the premiere of White Lotus a couple of weeks back, but I just wanted to do like a mid-season recap. I think we're up to episode 8. There are 10, and I just wanted to sort of see how you guys were feeling about the show. Paul, you didn't see the latest episode, did you?
I did not see Sunday's episode.
Hmm.
I saw that moon dance party one. That was the last one I saw.
So this was the fallout from that. But how are you feeling generally about the season? I guess without the context of this last episode.
I like it. I actually want to ask Scott. I didn't hear him mention it. Scott, do you know
Paul,
the 1 degree of separation between Survivor and White Lotus?
Jeff Probst doesn't interview the people on the show for 15 minutes for no reason.
Nope. Real close connection.
A real close connection.
Mike White, the writer, creator, director,
He was on the show.
David and Goliath.
He was on the show.
Yep, he was on
Is a
Survivor.
participant?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So Mike White.
Scott's not impressed. Yes.
I thought you would like it because you're a Survivor guy.
To a certain point, I watch Survivor when I have some free time, but don't watch it from beginning to end because it's too long.
Yeah, it is. It's a long season.
I like the original Survivor when we didn't get a deep dive get a whole psychological feeling of the people. It would not to go on a tangent. I liked Survivor where I got to know the people on how they are on the show. I don't need to necessarily know what their overly produced
Oh,
catchphrase is or something. Like I want to do this or I want to be known as this. Like just being known of how you are on the show and just be yourself and
Yeah.
let it develop.
I don't like those kind of like backstories either. They kind of that's why I don't watch reality TV. I mean, there's many reasons why I don't watch reality TV, but that's one of the main ones. Too many backstories.
But I like the backstory. Just don't tell me 2 seconds in the first time you're on camera. You give it away.
Yeah,
But he
just cut it.
he took inspiration from being on Survivor, and when he first pitched it, he was pitching it. He was very interested in how money and rich people and how money affects relationships and that kind of dynamic. He wanted to just do it like a documentary type thing on people going on vacation, rich people going on vacation. But HBO, like nobody really wanted to buy that. So at the time when he did the first season of White Lotus, um, what's the not murder mystery, but like true crime was super popular at the time. So he Trojan horsed it using a murder mystery in the very first episode to grab everyone's attention. But inside was like a psychological breakdown of rich people on vacation and how, these personal ties were affected by money. And that's how he got his show off the ground, and HBO took it. They were so like with this true crime, there's a murder in the very first episode. Who died? How did they die? But the show wasn't about that. It was about these rich people on vacation.
Yeah, I think White Lotus is at its best when you forget that there's a murder.
Yeah, and you just focus on the trio of characters. Like those different like sets of characters going through the season, progressing through the season.
I would say everyone's favorite. I think everyone could probably say that their favorite character is Parker Posey's character, Victoria.
Really?
You don't think she's funny with the accent and the catchphrases and completely like
Yeah, a lot of
So,
people like her.
yeah.
Yeah.
You missed a good one, Paul. I was gotta say, I'm surprised that you missed this last episode because it it really turned it up a notch, and that's why I really wanted to discuss it. This last episode was finally feels like they hit the gas on this thing. I
Really?
think the issue with the show for me had been that none of the characters or the plot lines was really moving forward at all in the last 3 episodes. It's
The web was spreading to be larger.
but
Up the
leading really nowhere. You had like the three high school friends, and they're just sort of, going along, going to yoga, getting drunk, getting brunch, hanging out, but like nothing really developing. There's no tension. There's like nothing happening. And then you have the family with Tim, Saxon, Locke, Victoria, like you just said. Yes, we found the bombshell that this guy was, embezzling money or doing something, and the FBI is looking for him. But that also kind of stalled. Like they didn't do anything. Nothing really happened. But this
Well,
episode
he
changed
stole
all
the
that.
gun. He definitely stole the gun.
He stole the gun, and this episode, the other guy just gets the gun back. Like, what was the whole point of the
Oh,
gun?
really?
Yeah, like I don't even know what the whole point of that was. If you create all this tension for the other guy to just go in your house when you're not there, just take the gun back, and now everything's fine again. So like that was completely inconsequential to the plot.
I feel like there's so many red herrings. They keep focusing on the friggin' monkeys. Like, part of me thinks the monkey steals a gun and just starts shooting people up, like something ridiculous.
That would
Because
not
it's
be
always, it's every White Lotus season, it's like a ridiculous murder. You know what I mean? It's like a death that's like just a ridiculous death.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it because it's not like a show about violence or um evil people. I think it's about like it's deeper than that, how like human nature might be violent or might be evil, capable of evil, and then that sort of reveals itself and comes out itself through some character and through a sequence of events that have been building up. But it's not inherently about a bad guy that's looking to commit a sinister crime or anything like that. Speaking of the dead body, I have a theory on who the corpse is. Should we get?
Oh yeah. I want to hear this one.
So my theory, I don't know if I'll reveal why I think it is, but my theory is that it's Mook, the beautiful local. She's like a dancer / hostess. Guy talks
What?
love interest.
That's interesting. I think her and that Russian dude have something to do with the robbery.
Oh,
So,
Valentine.
yeah, the one that went on the date with the three friends.
Yeah,
So I think
think
him
Vlad
and
is up
Mook.
to no good.
Yeah, man. He was distracting the security guard, talking about like the MMA match when that truck came in to do the heist. So I think him and Mook are like in cahoots with the robbery.
You think Mook? Wow.
Yeah, so I think she's like, I don't know, man. I think she's playing along our friend, the security guard that got the gun taken from him.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what his name is. But I guarantee it's going to be something with the monkeys, man. They
It's
focus
not.
way too much. Or the
Because those are
monkey,
just cutaways, man.
or Parker Posey is going to get killed eating one of those deadly fruits. She's going to be like looking for like, I don't know, high on whatever she's taking, Adderall or whatever she's taking,
Yeah.
lithium. And then she's going to eat one of those fruits and die. Something crazy like that. It's not going to be gunfire. I don't think it's going to be like someone coming up into the resort and shooting it up.
It is gun violence because there's several gunshots heard throughout that opening scene.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's where we get our death. I think it's like a red herring. I think it's like a decoy.
It could be. The reason I say it's Mook, and there's a scene when Guy Talk first gets the gun from his boss, basically, and he tells him like, hey, we're going to do some training because you should be prepared for some kind of violence. And he places the gun down at the table. Guy Talk does. Well, he's like just staring at it. And then he puts it down. And we see a close-up of the gun pointing at the doorway. And then there's a rack focus to Mook entering the doorway. So it cuts from the gunshot to her character and then back to Guy Talk. And I thought maybe that was a subtle hint that that gun was going to kill that character. Now, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that's the only sort of hint that I've seen of, who might get killed and why.
It just feels like there's way more scenarios of how this killing can occur or how it occurred. There's way too many.
Well, we don't know if it's a killing yet, if it's a murder or just a simple death, like an extravagant death, whatever.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know if we don't know anything other than that there's a body.
Or who calls the gunshots to go
off. Because the first season was an accidental murder. The second season was her falling off the boat and hitting her head on the other boat. So I don't know. I'm telling you, I think it's like a red herring, this whole gun violence thing. Mook is like a pop star?
No, I don't know Mook.
I think she's a Philippine pop star. And that's why it was a big deal getting her on this show. I think she's like super popular.
Okay. Find out. Should we get into this latest episode? Because there's a lot happened, man.
Yeah, don't hold back, please. I'm gonna watch it either way, so I'm good.
Scott, any surface level thoughts, reactions to this last episode?
Well, I want to know, who does Scott think is gonna get killed, or who's gonna die?
He thinks the monkey's gonna die. He's the opposite of you. You think the monkey's the killer? He thinks the monkey's dead.
I wouldn't trust the monkey, man.
I don't think the monkeys have been seen again since that first episode, where
no. It was like 2 episodes ago. They were walking back.
No.
They were checking into the
result. Hold up.
No. I think it's that blowfish that they kept on showing on the beach. It's its fault. I think I blame him.
Blowfish? There is a blowfish that they cut to twice. No context at all. Just him just chilling on the beach.
And when the previous episode they showed it and then they showed it again.
Yeah.
In the actual episode.
The thing that I'm not concerned about is no one ever goes to the beach. I haven't seen a single scene shot on the beach. So I'm not sure where that's gonna come from. Okay, so as I was saying, the show finally kind of picked up. There's gonna be some stuff happened, man. Do you want to talk about the opening scene, Scott?
The opening, you know what? I don't remember completely.
Damn, you guys leaving me solo. It opens with Tim killing himself.
Oh yes, that's okay. Yes.
What?
No. He attempted. By the way,
no. Can I say?
Let's first say spoiler alert, because we've been talking all this time. We need to say it now. Go ahead. Yes, he tried to kill himself. Yes.
So he didn't try to kill himself. The scene opens with Tim shooting himself in the head and dying, and his wife coming in screaming, Piper coming in screaming, and then cut to Tim, and he's sort of just fantasizing about killing himself, which bothers me because they pulled the old Chewbacca Star Wars trick, right? I don't really like when they do that little fake out. It's a little manipulative and it's a little frustrating. But when that happened, I was like, finally something's happening in the show to get me pumped, even though I don't want Tim to off himself like that. So they basically undid that in the next few seconds. And then the rest of the story around the family is with Piper going to the monastery and convincing her parents that she wants to stay. So in order to convince them, they decided to all go to the monastery together and talk to this monk. And the mom basically proposes, I've seen how these people live. If you can spend one night here, I'll let you stay for the rest of the year. And Piper has some hesitation about that, exchange, which leads me to believe that she's just completely full of shit and maybe just calling her parents bluff and just doing one of those, just being kind of a brat and testing her parents. I'm not sure she's ready to commit to that year. Paul, I think
it's so funny. It's so ironic that she's sitting there contemplating what gives you joy in life. What is the way to get joy out of life, enjoy life. Meanwhile, she's doing this while sitting in her room by herself, while everybody literally around her is going out and having a good time, finding the joy in life. And
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
sitting in a room and did you see that one scene where like one of them had headphones on, the other one has glasses on, and the other one's taking a sip out of something, like the three monkeys?
Oh no, I didn't
Hear,
notice that.
see, and speak no evil.
Yeah,
Like Mike White is like on a different level, man. This guy's got so much symbolism like trenched in this show. It's insane.
it's deep. I might have to go back and look for that.
That's funny that she's getting like she got called on her shit and she might not be able to pull it off.
That didn't happen, but I feel there's a little skepticism there, and I feel like it's just like showing. Yes, she's frustrated if she feels disconnected from all the wealth and privilege that she's exposed to, and that her brothers sort of revel in, especially Saxon. But I think it's just her way of sort of acting out, and I'm not sure she's. I just feel like at the end of the show, she's gonna feel like, oh well, this could have been something, but I'm much more comfortable in my day-to-day life back in Carolina, wherever she's from.
And what a hypocrite, because it's that family wealth and influence that got her this ability to even come and try this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And what a hit for with Patrick Schwarzenegger, man. He's doing an amazing job too.
You should
He's
see
not
what
getting paid
happens
for
in
this.
this episode. He's not
Really?
getting paid for this.
No, I think he took this job like I don't think he's getting paid at all. I got to look back into it, but I think he just loved the opportunity to be able to come on, and he took it for like no salary.
Good for him. I'm not going to spoil what happens to his character in this episode because it's pretty transformative. Scott, you want to, unless you want to dive into that?
It's got to be
No.
something with him and his brother. I know that.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
It's a full moon party, baby.
Why is it every episode? It's just they have to sneak that in. I don't have an issue with it, but it's like, do we? Is that's the tradition?
By the way, though, the blowfish, the White Lotus blowfish, has its own X account. So just
Nah.
Of course, everything needs its own X account.
And then the other last thing I just want to talk about, I think I'm looking at my notes here, is the Rick and Chelsea characters. So Rick, I feel like, is the only character that is worth rooting for here. He has a clear goal. He's moving in a very specific direction to achieve his goal. And after the earlier episodes where he was in therapy talking about his father, his mom, his family, and the trauma that he was exposed to, you kind of see that internal conflict within him. And then also when he meets up with his old buddy, played by Sam Rockwell in the previous episode, who has like the most insane fucking story ever. Yeah. But you see that conflict going, that character, dealing with his internal conflicts and sort of marching forward to, we don't know where he's going to go yet. And then Chelsea, who's just seems like a very sincere, caring person who feels like she's his soulmate. Like those are the only characters you're kind of rooting for here. And they feel like completely like they're on a different planet from the rest of the cast.
And again, kudos to Mike White, because when I started first watching this season, the first episode of season 3, I thought Chelsea and Rick had a horrible relationship.
Yeah.
But when push came to shove and she was like, look, enough of your shit, like, what are you doing? And then he sat down and told her exactly what happened. It showed that they actually had like a good relationship,
They have the healthiest relationship out of everybody, I think.
Yeah, that's insane. And again, Mike White, I think he has a male partner. I think he's bisexual, but he has a male partner. But they give him tons of credit, like therapists, on his insight into a heterosexual relationship and how it's so, how it gets so convoluted and all these intricacies to it. And he captures it in these, season to season, especially season 2. He does such a great job of capturing all these conflicts. But their relationship, it's like the strongest out of all of them.
It
is. You never figured that in the beginning of the season.
Well, because they open with him and he's immediately shady. He's dismissive and rude to her, but he's also like, you assume he's a criminal, a hitman, some kind of killer. But it just like the layers start showing themselves, and he feels like the most human in terms of what he's experiencing and what's going on. And just credit to the actor, what's his name, Goggins.
Yeah, Walton Goggins.
Walter Goggins, like he's just that guy's on a roll right now. By the way, he's crushing it. He's in the Righteous Gemstones. He's in Fallout. He's doing a bunch of stuff, and he's great.
He's in Invincible. He was voiced in Invincible too.
Mm-hmm.
Fallout, yeah, definitely.
So the show, I think, with the last episode, it finally sort of picked up the pace, and it's finally going somewhere. The homie Greg, he finds out some dirt, and now he's basically setting the stage for the potential season finale. He basically invites everyone over to his. We see where he lives. This guy is balling out on that Tanya money, like
Jennifer Coolidge.
Balling,
yeah.
So his place is insane. He kind of oversees the resort. He's on top of the mountain, beautiful place. But he's invited everyone to his home for a party. So that is going to happen next week. But because he says he has to take care of something. So
I was laughing
there.
before because I was remembering Walter Goggins, Rick freeing all those damn snakes, and he almost killed Chelsea because she got bit by the snake.
I know.
He was liberating.
Yeah, because he was going through he was experiencing something, right? He had not a breakdown, but he was like for whatever reason needed to free the snakes because they were being held captive. And he's like, no, everybody deserves to be free, even bad snakes.
He was relating to them. Yeah, he was relating to them. He saw himself as a snake, and he saw these fat tourists munching and watching their misery and laughing about it. He just fucking freaked out and started freeing all the snakes all over the place.
Yeah, he was also high as hell, but so yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. He's still in Bangkok. They're at the hotel owner's house. We don't know what's gonna happen there. But yeah, all the chips are now finally falling into place. And I think Tim, the Saxon's father, and that guy is sort of facing his own mortality. He's really contemplating death. He fantasizes about killing his wife after she tells him that, hypothetically, if they lose all their money, she wouldn't even want to live because she doesn't have the will to sort of be a struggling person, to basically hustle again. So he then fantasizes about killing her and then killing himself. So he's going down a pretty dark place. He speaks to the monk, and he seems like he found some sort of enlightenment there, as he's trying to navigate his next move, because he's running out of pills, bro. He stole his wife's pills, and I know that bottle's getting to the end. All that guy does is sleep right now.
That was so funny. She was laying on it so thick too to Piper, and she was like, "You're lucky your dad's a Boy Scout. Nobody gets this wealthy without doing some kind of bad stuff. But we're talking about murderers and people running because of their tax fraud. Not us, not us." And he's sitting there. He's just like,
Yeah.
And she was hiding her purse. And meanwhile, the person who stole was her own husband. The show is funny. It's good.
Greg might be his way out. And the LBH crowd, the losers back home.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see where that story goes. But yeah, things have fallen into place. Scott, any thoughts?
I'm mainly glad that we're able to take all the pieces that there was a question of where they were going with all the storylines, and we're now getting to the point where we're actually all the different characters are now working more closely with each other, which it felt like it took a long time to get all the story arcs into place. Like, okay, let's have everyone, it felt like we were waiting for what's her name's son. I get the character Belinda. We saw her son.
Oh yeah, he finally arrived.
He finally arrived. It was like, okay, we need him to arrive to know we were getting to the meat of the story.
Yeah, we're getting there. Only 2 episodes left.
What a great moment with Belinda too, when she's like giving her consent, and she's giving her consent to that guy, and she's like, "Do you guys do that here to gay talk or whatever his name is?" And
No,
she's
Guy
like,
Talk is the other guy. I don't know this guy's name.
"No, oh yeah, you're right. Guy talk is a security guy. Oh damn, what's the other guy's name that's teaching her how to do
Did he get a name?
the wellness?" Yeah, because she was giving consent, and she's like, "Is that?"
Did
It was
he get
such a
a
cute
name?
moment, man. It was like so well done.
Yeah.
Guy number 35. Is that what you think he's known as?
No, he's a main guy.
Yeah,
What's
I know.
his name? Damn,
Scott,
I don't know.
where's that cast list? Yeah, I don't know, but it was funny. So
Do you know what it's going to be like? You know what it's like looking up characters for this show? There's so many characters, and it's counted as different seasons. It's almost impossible to find someone. There's
yeah,
all
that's
these
true.
characters,
Yeah, especially
all
like
of them
these
combined. All of them
tertiary
combined.
tertiary characters. Those guys are
Yes.
never gonna find them. But okay. So
Is his name Leak? Maybe it's Leak, something like that. I don't know.
might be Leak.
But you heard it here first. It's either gonna be the friggin' monkeys that kill somebody, or the pong pong tree fruit that's gonna kill somebody.
I don't
my
even. Wow.
Pong pong.
I think it's not going to be if there was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and we had to do 50-50, those are the 2 answers that would be eliminated because they would be like, no, it's too
Oh,
dumb.
all right. We'll see.
Any
We'll see.
predictions, Scott?
Not at this time, no.
Pufferfish? Might be
No,
on something.
I mentioned as a joke. I did not think it was going to be the pufferfish.
Pufferfish with the gun
On the beach. It's like
on the beach.
playing Clue right now.
Yeah, well, I don't know why they're showing that fish. Maybe it's just
With Colonel Mustard
I don't know.
and the foil.
Let's move on to Severance. Where to start? Scott, we'll start with you because you tried watching Severance. You didn't enjoy Severance. Why do you dislike Severance?
Those white hallways are way too long for me.
Scott S.
They're way, what? Those hallways are way too long for me. It just felt like there was too much time getting their steps in. It just felt.
Now wait, that's your Audi's opinion, right? But did your innie like it?
Yeah, I don't know if you got that far. So why didn't you? What turned you off about the show?
What turned me off?
Did you watch season 1?
Of course I did. Yes. Well,
Oh.
all right. Do you really want to know what turned me off? Let's start with this. So stay with me. So I selected season 2 on the Apple TV app. I did. I start watching. I go, this seems very familiar. So I get through the entire episode and I realize I just watched episode 1 of season 1 again.
Okay.
But then,
how did you not know that the show was starting from the beginning? Like they introduced all the characters for the first time.
Because the show is so slow.
So you're basing your dislike of the show on user error?
No.
Yeah.
Don't use my phrase on me.
So you didn't watch it, basically.
I did watch it. Then I watched season 2, episode 1, and I felt like they were doing a lot of reminding us what happened in
the recap?
season 1. Beyond the recap, I did press the skip recap button, so I got past that.
Okay. I don't know why you didn't like the show, but
because I didn't feel like enough happened. Not that much happened. So I need to take a step back and step away from my inner thoughts of watching the show and then go back in and reconsider it again.
Okay. Something happened there. I don't know what happened there.
Happened where?
I don't know why you didn't. I don't know why you didn't like the show.
Because I felt like that the pacing was, it didn't feel like enough happened
Okay.
to
All
me
right.
to keep myself going, oh, I do not want to go and now watch another one right away.
I
There
get
wasn't
that.
enough for me to jump in and go, oh, they just spent all this time and now I want to, take a break.
Fair enough. I kind of felt that way halfway through the season, and as the season progressed, I just felt like the show got really slow. It got really weird, and then it kind of got off course. And then the ending kind of worked. I thought the ending was pretty dope, actually. Um,
That's funny. I'm the complete opposite. I enjoyed the season, and I was not too happy with the finale. Like there was some really weird choices in cinematography. Oh my gosh, in the way they decided to the cinematography, the way they
mhm.
decided to film, like the march. The march was pretty cool, except when they kept zooming in on Mark and Helly's face and
Oh, like
zooming out.
walking through it.
Yeah, it was like looking at their reactions as Tillman was doing his march, and they kept zooming in on the face. Like it was almost like a comedy. I didn't like that part, and I didn't like the weird ending where they like freeze framed it, and they were like it was like an old '60s show where they're jumping out of like, and then they just froze it. I was like, what is going on right now?
Yeah, I didn't mind that because I felt like you leave that kind of wondering like what's gonna happen next. Leaving
Yeah,
it.
but just the way they froze it, like they're running through the hallway and it ends like a '70s show, like they're just
Yeah.
frozen. I don't know. It was like I think they went a little overboard with that. Um, I don't know. I don't know.
It just felt like, now that you're mentioning it, I felt there was too much of the, oh, do you want to stay? Do you want to leave? But I think we all knew they were going to stay. Otherwise, what's going to happen the next,
Well,
several
that
episodes?
was the big finale. Like that was the big ending where Mark had to choose between Helly and Gemma, and he
Well, no.
chose.
See, the way I saw that was the Audi versus the innie. It was Mark versus Mark, and each
Yeah, yeah,
one was like, it was brilliant the way they had that conversation through the old camcorder.
yes,
And
yes, that
Mark,
definitely was.
so Mark Scout, the Audi, was basically like trying to sympathize with Mark S, the innie, and trying to convince him, like, hey, if you let Gemma out, and then if you go out, it'll be great for everybody, and then we can, what was it like, combine consciousness? And he was like, that sounds like bullshit. I don't know what you're talking about. I think I love how we pitted the characters against each other because us as viewers, we're rooting for both of them. We see them as one entity, but they're actually very different characters with their own goals and their own feelings about reality and their own existence. And they don't really know anything about the other person. We know both of them, but they don't know each other at all. And
Yeah.
they have these conflicting interests where they're both in love with this person and they want to spend their life with that person. So that's
During
he made the choice not to say he doesn't even know Gemma from a hole in the wall. That Gemma doesn't exist to Mark S. But
well,
Helly does.
this episode, like it had its things that I didn't like, definitely, but it had its things that were pretty amazing too. Like you said, that interaction between the two Marks, the way they were videotaping and recording and speaking back to the recording, that was really good. The way
Yep.
I took it at the end was that he saved Gemma, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the other good
He
part
freed
too, when
her.
they were coming down the elevator and they were in this passionate kiss, and then when their innies came back, it was like an awkward moment, but it was
Yeah.
done so well. But to me, he freed Gemma, right? He had that drive, but it's not that he chose Helly. He chose to keep the innie alive because if he left with Gemma, that would pretty much be the death of the innie
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
And like I think that was well done. I think they could have actually ended it right there before you saw who he decided, and that would have been like an okay cliffhanger. Um,
Yeah.
instead of that running in the hallway. But if you notice, the colors play such a big part of the show, right? Because like red is outie, blue is innie,
Right, right. Well, is
and
is
like
red Audi? Well,
yeah, and
in the fire, the fireplace setting and the exterior setting, yeah, they were when they were
yeah,
talking.
when they went to that hibachi place, and she was Helen R or whatever, she was
Yeah,
the actual like whatever. Her background was all red, and if you look in the restaurant, Mark's was all blue. When his
I didn't
friend
notice
came
that.
out, oh, who was the guy? The guy in the very first season, Pete.
Oh, like yeah, yeah.
When he had Pete in his house, Pete was wearing a robe and it had blue and red on it. Right? It's like
Interesting.
the
Yeah,
colors play such. Uh,
very
um,
intentional.
whatchamacallit's wife, Dylan's wife, Dylan G. When his wife came to visit his innie, she was wearing purple because she's the bridge between blue and red.
Yeah,
Like the
that's
colors have
interesting.
so much. Like it's super interesting. Oh, you know, one fact I forgot to mention the other time. Do you know that they filmed the house was at the Yonkers River Museum, the Hudson River Museum?
Which house?
When they went to Egan's house, and it was like a house, a museum inside of a building.
Oh, interesting.
That was the Hudson River Museum. I've been there. I've taken a tour there. They don't
Yeah,
call it the
yeah, I've
Egan
been there.
house. Yeah, it's
No, no,
like
yeah,
something
I've been there
different.
too when I was a
But
kid.
they filmed a lot over there. I never knew that. And then I was like, wait, that looks familiar. And I was looking up the sites, and it was the Hudson River Museum because
I'll
they
have to
filmed
go
like in
back.
Brooklyn and Yonkers, everywhere.
Okay, okay. Hold on. We're getting off track a little bit. Let's go back to just the. We'll go back to the episode and then.
I had something else to add. Paul just stole my thunder. That
Talking about location scouting.
up, damn right. Luma Industries. Do you know the office that's shown in the TV series is actually a real building?
No, yeah.
It's actually Bell Works in Homedale, New Jersey, which is 30 miles
Oh,
south of Newark. It used to be the
Random
former.
factoid.
It used to
Okay, I thought you were gonna
formerly.
say it's like 20 minutes from my house.
Not everything is 20 minutes from my house, but it's formerly the Bell Laboratories.
Okay, good to know.
The more you know.
Um,
that Milchek March was something else, though. And when he came out with the Chicago Bulls intro song,
yeah,
1995 Chicago Bulls. Din, 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 din.
that was. You know, I didn't like a lot of that. That kind of took me out of it. I feel like the show itself is very hit or miss and very inconsistent. Like to me, that was one of the consistencies. Like, okay, the music, fine, it's a nice touch. I know it. A lot of people are going to know it. A lot of people are not going to know it, and it's going to be fine too. The marching band for me was kind of like a jump the shark moment,
Yes, yes.
and then like, are they all severed? Do they work there? Do they have
Yes,
Audis?
they're
There's like
from the
50 of them.
choreography and betterment department.
So they only work once a year, or like, how does that even work? Where are these people? It's just that just make no sense at all. And tonally, it's just, I don't know, it just felt really out of place. It felt like, let's end this with a bang, even if it doesn't really connect with everything else here. Another inconsistency I felt like there was with the show was that like they're working for Lumen, who is this, authoritarian corporation, always watching, always aware of everything you're doing. But this season, they didn't do any work. They're never working,
They're
ever.
never working.
They're
Yeah.
always kind of
Walking.
running around, conspiring, doing whatever they want. There's no consequences. There's nothing. They have no respect for Milchek whatsoever. They run in his office. They yell at him. They slam his door. They don't do what he asked them to do. So that felt off to me.
Well, they're all at Mark's mercy right now because Mark is the only one who can finish Cold Harbor.
Yeah,
So they're
again,
just
why
like
is
at
that?
his whim.
But why is everyone else even there? Like, what is Irving coding? What is Dylan doing? Because
Yeah, yeah.
he's supposed to be like the best one, right? In season one, he's like one of the best workers they have. He's getting all these rewards. So what were they doing this whole time? It a lot of the stuff just didn't make sense to me. And then I felt like one of the big questions I had too was like, why do I care about Gemma and Mark's relationship? I don't even know Gemma. She's like in flashbacks and she's Miss Casey in a couple seasons in scene 1. So finally they had the Gemma episode, which I had been waiting for, and it was good because it finally gave that character some life and gave us some. Did I go off camera? No. It gave that character some life and something for viewers to care about. So I thought that was good, and I believe in their relationship, and I felt something for them. But like, what is Cold Harbor? I don't know. I don't care. Is it, if he finishes it, what does it mean? It didn't really mean anything. I mean, as far as I know, not yet, right? It was just a lot of stuff like that.
My understanding is right because they said he finished 24 modules and Cold Harbor was the 25th. Those are different, like personalities,
Innies.
consciousness of Gemma.
Right. They're different in innies. So from one person, they made like 25 different innies. Every time she would go into a room, she would be that different, that unique innie.
But it was putting her through like a stressful moment. Like it went from different levels of stress. So one was like going to the dentist. Can we sever somebody from having that pain of going to the dentist? And will they have any remembrance of it? Now let's take it to the next level, like an airplane crash with high turbulence.
No, I get that.
So
but what is the point
this was the
in the
hardest
bigger
one.
picture?
I don't. That's the question. Like the biggest picture, is it just Lumen trying to make sure that people get severed, so this way they have like not to experience any pain in their lives, and they can just get severed from these moments. Cold Harbor was the worst case because it was the loss of a child, right? So Cold Harbor was the absolute worst. Or is it like Lumen just getting free labor? They severance people and they just get like.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. And I don't know. I didn't care so much about that. I did care about the character relationships more so. I thought Dylan's character, I thought he had a nice character arc with his Audi and his Audi's wife.
What a great letter to himself, right?
Yeah, it was really good. And basically, to Scott's point earlier, it just felt like another way to just get the character back inside the office. So I hopefully like something more meaningful comes out of it, other than them just being able to use him back inside the office for other storylines. Or maybe we get to know the Audi a little bit more. But it felt more like a device than something else. But it was meaningful. It did hit for me. I thought that was a dope moment when he sort of said, you should stay there because like what you're doing actually inspires me to be a better person for my wife, and that kind of.
He was like, "Yo, you're a badass."
He doesn't know his wife.
He does know his wife. They met.
I mean,
that's why you got to watch the show.
I mean, not fully. in the inner self doesn't completely know. He only knows what he saw.
And we had 2 casualties too. We lost Irvin and Bert. We didn't have them in the finale.
Yeah,
that kind of sucked.
What the hell happened with Bert? So I was really confused because he invites. Here's something that really confused me with the Bert and Irving thing. I know Irving. We know Irving. We know the innie Irving. We don't know anything about the Audi Irving. But then we spent all this time with the Audi Irving, and I feel like I was projecting everything of the innie Irving to the Audi, but we don't really know that character.
Irving's very unique because obviously the severance didn't take full place on Irving because he knew Helen R was not Helen E when they were going on that retreat. And he was having visions of the door on his Audi. That's what he was painting constantly. So he was very unique. But I think
was Bert part of Lumen? They didn't really explain that.
Yeah, what happened was, if you listen closely, like at a dinner party, Bert actually severed years before, like 25 years ago. Meanwhile, Severance really only started up 12 years ago. So Bert was like one of the first people. I think he was like a hitman. And when he would say he'd
Well, he
take
was a
people on a
driver,
ride,
right?
well, a driver, like in the mafia, where they take you on a drive and you don't come back. And I think that's why he was saying, that's why they had this whole psychological talk about the soul. Does a severance have two souls? Can one soul possibly go to heaven, even though the other soul, the innie or the outie, did all bad and harm? And they were having that talk. So I think he killed, like, he was responsible for a lot of people dying. He was like a Lumen hitman. And he was
Yeah, yeah.
supposed to take Irvin on his last ride, but he didn't. He took him to the train because he loved him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but why did he love him? The innie version loved him, not the outie.
He knew
Both
there had to
that-
be something, though. That's why he invited him to dinner. He knew there was some kind of connection. Like, again, maybe that surpasses the severance.
I think that's a reach. I think they fucked up. Like sure, I can sit here and fill in the blanks all I want, but that should have come from them. Like, I think something got lost there because I'm watching the end of the episode and I'm like, wait, this guy was in it for. Now, how do they know each other? Because they only
See, I
met
think
on the inside. It's like, what the hell's going on?
the love broke the severance. Like, they had this love
Nah,
from, yeah, and that's why they knew. And like, he was like, just get on the train and don't come back. Don't tell me where you're going. I
you think
can't
he's
let you
coming
die.
back? Season
He's
3?
definitely got to come back for season 3. Yeah.
Is there a season 3? Do we
Yes,
know?
it's already been greenlit.
I mean, yeah, most likely
No,
it's
they
the
already
most
announced
watched
it.
show.
Tim
Okay.
Cook even he put it out on X because Ben Stiller was like, everyone's calling for it. What do you say? And he's like,
Okay.
yeah, they'll be back for season 3.
That was a fixed moment.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
I thought the coolest thing the show did was swap Helly R out for Helena for like 4 episodes. I thought that was dope. I didn't see that coming.
And the big thing of that is she's probably going to be pregnant with Mark's by Mark S.
Oh, you think so?
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
innie?
They kept making relevance to like the eggs and things like that. I think she's definitely I think she's pregnant.
If I never see the goats people again, I'm good.
What a horrible like conclusion to what the goats were all about. I thought the goats might have had outies. Like I didn't know what was going on. I mean, while they were just sacrificial lambs, like real, like
literally
legit
just
sacrificial. That's such like bullshit.
Yeah, I'm good with all of that. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was disappointing for me. And
The finale. I thought the season was good. The finale was a little disappointing.
I have a lot to look forward to.
I don't
Just
know,
call
Scott.
Skip and watch the Pit.
You can make up your own mind, but I was disappointed by this season.
I will.
Yeah, I think it was a little overhyped. I think the show had too many flaws, and I think like the whole innie outie thing, maybe it's just like too complicated, and sometimes you write yourself into a wall, and you have to break your own rules to get out. And I think that kind of happened here. That's why those guys never worked. They basically stopped working the whole season.
What got confused, especially in the finale, was when they went different levels. They kept going out of the innie and outie. So Mark was only an innie on that floor. When he went down to the other floor, his outie came back.
I thought that was pretty.
I'm so confused right now.
And I thought that was pretty
hearing
clever.
of this. Oh my goodness. The innie and outie. There's an innie floor. There's an outie floor. Where's the break room from all this?
They don't use it anymore because they don't work, so they don't need a break.
They need you know what? They need a rewards program for all the steps they get in.
Yeah, they do run a lot.
Yes.
Any final thoughts on Severance season 2? Scott, maybe you'll watch. Scott's not gonna watch it.
I believe I said I was going to.
We'll see if you get past the recap again, then you give it a true test.
Yeah, don't skip the recap.
No. Let's see if the Apple TV app gets me to be able to watch episode 2 and not of season 2, not episode 2 of season 1.
I think you're confusing me. You probably confused yourself on that one.
Oh no, I think the app's confused. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. If you can't, just put your innie to watch it and then leave you the notes.
Just like, comment, subscribe. Just end with that.
All right, guys, we're gonna leave it there. Rate the podcast, subscribe to the podcast. That helps out a lot, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you
Peace.
for listening.